So you want to learn how to be able to build off the top of your dome and figure out how to be able to get something on the world that you can be proud of and just run with. Welcome. This is from this server, Intrinsic, and my name is Somebody, and we are just going to be building a basic smeltery to be able to hold 3 different smelter arrays, and it's going to be great, but the thing is that I went into this build with 0 idea in mind, and I'm also going to let you know, because this is how we're doing it here, it's off the dome, and as is this video. The script's not made. Let's go. First thing first, get an idea for what you are comfortable with first. I love segments. I like taking a build and putting posts in, and you'll see here I have spruce logs laid out, and I have a couple blocks in between, and that's just really easy for me. I love my 3 wides. Those are my bread and butter. It's really easy for me. So there's spruce log, 3 deep slates, spruce log, and that's a segment. Rock those. It's super easy. If you figure out one segment, you figured out every other segment pretty much. It's really easy. So these are 3x4 on this first floor. Just rock that. Have a foundation block. That's what adds that stability, grounds it, and has it really just kind of like fit into the world. Those that don't have that, especially if you're doing texturing, it feels like it could fall over if this was in the real world. So I went with deep slate tile consistently, and I have it incorporated into the rest of the build as well to make it so it's kind of a gradient heading up from this really dark deep slates, mud, and stuff like that into, you know, your cobbles, your andesites, your stones, and it just works. Having your segments, have a strong foundation, begin building, and just let things flow a little bit, relax, understand, you know, I wanted a window in my segment, so I started thinking about windows, started thinking about block palettes, I started thinking about the entrance. Let all those ideas come, but block out things when you need to get something done. I got to figure out these segments. I don't know what the block pattern wants to be. How about a gradient? I'd love a really dark to a lighter one. What can I do with that? Deep slate to stone. Okay. So what I ended up doing is, you know, that structure layer at the very bottom, just deep slate. Nice, easy, perfect. I really like it. After that, I know it's 4 tall, so I decided the next 2 are going to be 1 gradient. The next 2 will be another gradient, and it kind of leans that way. So the next one, you know, I have mud included. I have deep slate. I have some cobble. I don't have, I believe, stone. I don't got stone bricks. But I have a couple little things. So, you know, it's mostly those darker blocks. And I go the 2 higher on that one. Mud's no longer in the build. Mud is out. Get out of here. We introduced stone. We have a couple other things going on. And out of like, I like to random. The way I do that is I empty out my hotbar and just fill it with blocks. I put like 7 blocks in and 2 of them are duplicated. So, you know, like slot 1 is deep slate, cobble deep slate. Slot 2 is deep slate tile. Slot 3 is cobblestone, you know, and just make it random. The 2 extras are whatever you want the most of. So for me, it was deep slate cobble and deep slate tile. The upper 2, mud is gone. There's a lot of cobble in it and some stone is introduced and it just worked. And then I was like, okay, what do I want for a pattern with this? Well, it's a 2 tall window because, you know, it's still surrounded. So let's I look at my other build on the side. We use light gray stained glass. Let's tie it together. Light gray stained glass. Okay. What can we do? There's a lot of spruce over here. We don't have a lot of spruce wood. Let's add some spruce wood. So I put some spruce wood. I put some open fence gates. I put a couple buttons. Bam! It pops. It works. I put that on every single side. I'm like, okay, well, I wanted the front to be a feature. What am I going to do with it? I had this idea when I was first thinking of the smeltery, lava feature. So I made these 3x3 pillars that had the corners all filled in, and then each of the 4 like cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, had top slabs going all the way up. I had lava fall all the way down. You have little peaks of lava poking out, and then I made it like so the stairs and a slab at the front of it, so there's lava going across, and it looks like there's lava flowing all around the build to like air quote fuel it, which actually this is what it's going to do in the future is I'm going to have a lava farm on the 2nd story. But I made this front. It's all deep slate tile. It's super industrial. It looks super rugged and just tough, but also like a little bit cleaned up, you know, because it's dealing with the hottest thing. It goes from a smeltery to a foundry. I mean, it's just beautiful. We have that little lava accent. I'm like, ooh, okay, what can we do with that? What can we do with that? There's a little bit of lava. Let's add a little bit of light. We don't want mobs spawning on around this sucker, so let's add a little bit of light. The lava's orange, so lanterns. It just made sense. They're orange. Go with whatever flows. Don't think. Just enjoy. Know your game. Know what you want. And just go. I was deciding on the 2nd story, and I was like, oh, yeah, maybe I was going to just put the roof. I really was, and I put a little trim around it because I thought it would look nice, and I was like, I want it to be taller, and I want a spot to generate fuel. Let's maybe make a second story. I'll have it be the same height. Okay, I'll have it be tall. I'll have it be even taller. It didn't matter, but I decided it was going to be a really tall one. So the first one, it's a 3x4. And the next one's like a 3x6. Like, it's 2 blocks. Like, that doesn't happen in real life, by the way. Like, the first story is normally the tall one. Flip-flop it. A little bit magical, a little bit medieval, a little bit fantasy. Who cares? It's fun, and it works. The gradient from earlier, I knocked out the deep slate. And now it's just the stones, the andesites, the cracked stone bricks, things like that. Full gradient, full random. Works good. Got all that up. I got my frames. I decide what do I want for details. Originally, it's like, oh yeah, like the very top where the roof's going to be, there'll be another support beam just so it's like tied in and it just creates more sections. And it's great. I'm like, oh, and I'll throw a deep slate tile slab, upper slab, which is a mouthful, let's just say it, to hold those up. And then I decided, no, you know what looks better? Deep slate stair upside down with then a tile, and underneath that is a spruce fence post to tie in the spruce from lower with a lantern, which below that there's like a wall with a slab on top of it. Boom. Is it a bit much? Maybe. Is it really unique shape from every single direction and catch your eye because it's not just a straight line? Absolutely. This build stands out, okay? It's just what it does. Super well detailed. We figured out the windows, and you know what happened? I started putting on shutters because you know what? I didn't want to copy the downstairs. I thought just some shutters. I'll use a lot of trap doors. It'll be fine. I hated it. Got rid of it. Did something else. By the way, skip the roof. Here's the roof. When I was building, I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, you know what? I love doing complicated roofs. That's just my thing. I like doing it. I like to think about it. It's like, what can I do? What could I do? What could I do? I'll do a couple simple peaks. Those little it just goes up. Very simple peak. I'll just do that. For the ends of the tall portion in the very front, I'll have that going. I'll have some lava poking out on the sides. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm literally just thinking like, it's the same thing as what a kid does when it's like, yeah, well, I'm going to send out Pikachu in our pretend Pokemon battle, and it's going to use massive lightning god or whatever. Like, just be a nerd and do whatever you want. It's fine. And then I have the front of it. I was like, you know what would sound really cool? I want to do a curve on this roof. So that way it like peaks up. It's a little bit more fantasy style. So here from the front angle, you can see it slope up. That took 3 attempts, I believe. It's okay if it takes a couple tries. Build it, back up, build it, back up. Delete your builds. It's the right thing to do sometimes. It makes a ton of sense and it just kind of works. And I was like, okay, I got that. I got this small slant. I want the most drastic height though on this. So that's a taller roof like angle than I've ever built before in Minecraft. I'm not even joking. I have that memorized because I have a problem. And originally I was just gonna have it be in a straight line. And I was like, no, out at an angle, overhang to make it harder on myself to build it. That's okay. That is okay. You'll notice as it's been going, you'll see like where the roof is. I start working on the windows and all that stuff. And it's like, I haven't filled in some of the gaps yet. Well, we're going to get to that. I'm going to be honest, at the time I'm recording the script, I haven't done it yet, but I know what I'm going to do because I've been dreaming about this. I built this on stream. Here I am the next day, been thinking about it. I'm going to put in that little front where the little lava's poking out all that. I'm going to put a little window, just a little window. So the idea is that you could be inside and you'll look out that window on that first story. You can look up in the sky and the sun's that way, maybe. You know, we'll get a shader going at some point. We can look that way and just be like, oh my. It's almost sunset. It's a sunrise. It's mid-noon. You just be able to look, and it's going to be gorgeous. And upstairs, oh, those sides right there, you know, I'm going to fill in the little just small points, the tiny ones that just go up at a little triangle. We'll fill that in. We'll put a little window or something maybe. Maybe we'll have it solid and we'll have a little design on it. Those giant ones, though, with the angle on it, oh, those are getting so little attention because that's going to give me the biggest headache. And then I'll add a little bit of detail. And that's okay. Because I'm going to enjoy that part. And I'm going to have fun with it. Just keep going. You might also notice, it's on a little floating platform. Where's the incorporation? Where's the landscaping? That's coming out another time. If you want to learn how to landscape, feel free to drop a subscription. Come on over to Twitch, drop a follow. I'm going to be terraforming this whole thing with custom terrain because I don't like how like deep the valleys are and all that. I want it a little bit more flat. It's supposed to be villagers walking around and I know them. They're going to get stuck somewhere and then zombies will kill them. So that's coming later. But if I had to have an idea, you know, there's going to be a main path of some sort going through that's going to be a little nicer, you know, some brick, some maybe, I don't know about deep slate tile, cobble. But, you know, around here, I feel like, you know, there's going to be mud on the edge of this thing in coal blocks. It's just going to be like, you know, that's the debris from the fuel. You know, that's the carbon dioxide that came off this sucker and landed around it. That's all those different things. Now that I mentioned that, I just thought about it. I don't know if there's going to be. I haven't built it yet. That's the beauty of going off the top of your head. Will I put a smokestack? I hope I remember to do that. I hope I do before I get to the editing of this video. If you want to build off the top of your dome, start with a foundation. Decide on a segment. Something that's nice, easy, simple. Plan it out, lay it down. Pick a feature, add a feature. Just go up. Think about a gradient maybe. Maybe don't. Figure out what kind of detail you want to do and just repeat it like a lot. Decide on a roof or 2 or 3, or I feel like in my case, 26. Worry about landscaping later. That's not what you're doing right now. You're building a house. You're doing a detailed build. Have fun with it. Be a nerd. Decide something on the spot or be happy at how it turned out. Like, you didn't even think about the idea of that lava poking out on the side of the roof. You can't tell I really like that detail. You didn't even think about the lava poking out on the side of the roof, but you're really happy it's there. Enjoy that and be happy with it, okay? I've been somebody to remember. You've been awesome. I'll see you guys sometime soon with the next one. Bye.